Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 6.7. We are with the chapter Interest and Bond Valuation, Lawrence Gitman, Managerial Finance. Right now, we have solved 6 questions, and all of these questions were having the same structure and same understanding. We are with three major concepts what we are dealing with. Initially, we have understood what is real rate of interest. We have seen what is inflation rate, and we have seen what nominal rate of interest is. So right now we are still in the same phenomena. No technical problem would be there, no formula would be used, just for an understanding and the behavior of rate of return associated with the time duration. Look, all these are rates: rate of interest, inflation rate, and nominal rate. Here in our question, you can see that different sort of rate of returns associated with the time of maturity is given. Initially, we will understand what kind of data is provided in this question. Here you can see these are rate of returns. If you are investing your amount for 5 years, if you are investing for amount for 2 years, and if you have your amount right now, that means what would be the amount of return, what would be the rate of return which you will get. All right, look over here, time to maturity. It means if you will invest this amount right now, how much you will get after 1 year. So here it is mentioned that 9.3% you will get if you will invest it right now. So after 1 year, you will get 9.3%. After 5 years, you will get 9.1%. 2 years ago, uh, if you have invested your amount and years to maturity was 1 year. 5 years ago, you were taking only 9.1%. 2 years ago, you were taking 14.6%. Today, you are taking 9.3%. So it means different rates are available for different times to maturity and different options of particular years as well. So right now we are not concerned with the authenticity of these rates because every country has different criteria of fixing the rate. Maybe uh, politically influenced rate, maybe the state bank or central bank will decide the rate, maybe your economical conditions, maybe inflation rates. So there are several factors which will affect the rate of return in each country. Right now, what I was saying, right now we are not concerned with authenticity of these rates, but we are concerned with to understand the behavior of rates when these rates are associated with times to maturity. So duration and rates, duration and rate of returns, we are actually concerned with the relationship of these two on same set of axes. What does that mean? All these amounts present in this data, present it on a single graph. Draw the yield curve of each three given times. Three different times are given. Label each curve in part A its general shape. So for first part A is saying to draw a graph. So what I was saying, we are not concerned with the authenticity of these rates, what kind of rate these are, why we do have more rates for 5 years or why we do have less rates today, why second year rates are more than 5 years and rates available for today. We are not talking about this. We are not concerning with the logics we can have for these three different time periods. Right now we will just present it on graph and we'll try to understand the relationship of these returns with the time. I'm sure you have understood the target of our question. So here we will start our graph. Keep it in mind, all three graphs would be made on the same axis. First we will draw our x-axis drawn, and now we will see the y-axis, and it has also been drawn. Before starting our graph, we will have to see what kind of distances we will create in our graph, both numerically and physically. Time to maturity would be presented at x-axis. The very first thing which you will come to know, time to maturity, and the least time which is mentioned over here is 1, and maximum time is 30. And how many columns we do have? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 30 would be presented in 7 columns. Simple is this. Just see what is your maximum, that is 30 years, and how many points you do have. Look over here, we have counted, these are 7, so just divide it with 7. We have rough idea that if you will take 5 years, roughly I'm saying, we cannot take this 4.2, it was a rough idea. So if we will take 5 years, then we may have our requirement filled. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 and 30. So within 6 we have everything available over here. Just need to align it to the right side so that every presenting amount is at right side. So we have completed our statement at x-axis. This is for times to maturity. On x-axis you are going to present all timings, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, and today. So here 5 years and 2 years, and even today. All three items would be presented over here. For that, let's start our search and we will see the minimum amount. What I can see is minimum amount is 9.1, and you just are asked to observe as well. 9.1 is the minimum amount what I can see, and the maximum amount which we will present is 14, from 9.1 to 14. So it means very small distance between maximum and minimum, just 5 points. So it's better to break this graph. As usual, we will be doing the same thing here. We are breaking this graph, and as in our previous questions, what we were doing after breaking this graph, just draw it. As this. Okay guys, what is the purpose of this break? Basically, when you are presenting your amounts on any axis, you need to make numerical distance exactly equal. So that is why we have broke it to present it according to requirement of our axis. I'm just explaining it again, but before that we will present this whole scenario. Least amount is 9.1 and maximum amount is 14.6. So what you will do, you will start from 9 and you can use the distance of 9.5, means 0.5 distance. So 9.5. Okay, now I am going to explain this breaker as well. Distance between first line, this is your first line, and second line is 0.5. So obviously you will have to start this graph from 0.5. You were supposed to write 0.5 over here, But if you will choose 0.5, you will have to present, you will have to need so many lines to complete it till 14.5. So what would be the benefit of this breaker? It would be indirectly understood that this graph is continuous from 0.5 to 9. So whenever you want to start your graph to present your required amount, instead of writing each and every element present in the amounts, you can break this graph and start according to our requirement. Look, our data was having minimum amount as 9.1. We do not need 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. We do not need. So instead of writing all the elements present in 0.5 table, you have broken that table and started according to requirement. So 9 was our least requirement, which was present over here. In this way, we do not need to put everything according to 0.5. We have started from 9, and this way we'll continue. 10, then 10.5, then 11 and 11.5, 12 and 12.5, then we have 13 and 13.5. Next is 14, and maximum amount which we need is 14.6, so 14.5 is also needed. So instead of writing these headings over here, just post them to upward and make your graph little in extended form. 14.5, it should be 14.5, and as you know that we need 15 as well, because maximum amount is 14.6, that means more than 14.5. Okay, now come over here and complete y-axis, because we have extended this graph. In this way, y-axis ready, x-axis ready, and please keep it in mind we have broken this graph into two parts, assuming that graph was started from 0.5 and it is continued in this broken part, and the required data has been started from 9. Alright, times to maturity has been presented over here. So we will draw this graph step by step. First we will choose 5 years ago rates, and then we will match it with times to maturity. First we will go to 1. Alright, for this we will form the pointer. Here our pointer is, but we will shape it according to our requirement. It is little big, let's make it the smallest possible size. Alright, we have got our first point, and what we need to go at 1. Between these 2 points there are 5 years, so about here we will have our point 1. So at this place we got 1, and how much for 1? 9.1. Okay guys, so 9.1 would be, this is 9, and just above the line we will get 9.1. Okay, so this is first point, and now for second point where we are required to go at 3 years. Look, between this 0 to 5 we have 5 years, so 3 would be just more than half. Over here this is your point number 3 years, and you need to go at 9.2. 9.2 would be little up to 9.1. Okay, so let's go to next point. We need to go at 5 years. 5 years would be exactly at this line. For this we need to put 9.3. 9.3 would be above than 9.1 and 2, just above. Okay, and for next, how much? 10 years. So come over here. This is 10 years and we do have 9.5 amount rate. 9.5 would be just like here, and next point is 10 years it is completed. Next is 15 years. Okay, 15 is exactly over here, and for 15 years we have 9.4. 9.4 would be just below 9.5. Okay, for 15 years we have presented. Next, for 20 years, let's go to, this is 20 years, and for 20 years we have 9.3. 9.3 would be just below to 9.4, so we have got it. After 20 years we will see 30 years, and 30 year is present over here, and rate is 9.4. 9.4 would be just below to 9.5. So guys, we have got our point, and this line is showing for 5 year before 5-year maturity. And next step is to join these points with each other, for which we are taking a line. How to join? Join first point with second, and then second point with your third point, and then third with fourth, fourth point with fifth. Okay, just keep it in mind, the same steps you will be performing when this graph is in your question, or when you are doing it as your home assignment on copy. You will be performing absolutely same function, but obviously scenario would be changed, environment would be changed, and the tools would also be changed. I am electronically making this graph, and you will be performing it through pencils and writing tools on a paper. So keep it in mind, you will have to be very quick, and you will have to be very sensitive about making this. Graph has been completed. Little adjustments are needed because these lines must be according to next touch. Here I am trying to make it exactly equal. This line also needs some adjustment. Okay, it is completed. Now I'm satisfied that this graph is absolutely according to the mark. So this blue line we have produced for 5 years before. 5 years before. I'm showing you it again. Look, 5 years ago. So we will write the same thing which is present in question, but the meaning is same. So this graph is for 5 years ago, and you are needed to just look at the shape of this graph and let me know what conclusion you are making with this. 5 years ago, blue line we have chosen, and now what I have said, you are needed to understand the shape of this graph, and we will discuss later on in next part. Okay, we are using red color. come again over here and see the next requirement. We are taking 2 years ago. Just proceed to first year, and first year is over here. For first year we need to go at 14.6%. 14.6%, it means we'll have to go further up. So this is your 14.6 would be little above than 14.5. Alright guys, so first point we have mentioned. At first year, this was our first point. At first year it should be at 14.6, just above than 14.5. This line where I am pointing out, this line is 14.5 and little up would be 14.6. Next time period is 3. So how we will go to 3? I am zooming it off because at the same time it's not visible. Again, it's not visible over here. Just let's go manually above. Now it's okay. This is our second point. We need to go at 3 years. Look, distance between first and second line is 5 years. 3 years would be a little okay. So this is 3 years and we need to go at 12.8. 12.8. This is 12.5 and 12.5 would be 12 point, where we want to go, 12.8. so 12.8 would be little above. Okay, we have got our second point. And now before going to next point, here I can see that it should be 13. Typographically it has written as 113. So I'm sure you have understood this point is showing 12.8. So now we will see the next point. For 5 years, this row on x-axis is showing exactly 5 years. For 5 years we have interest as 12.2. 12.2 would be just lower than, okay, lower than 12.5 but above than 12.12. Next we will point at 10 years and rate is 10.9. Again we need to go little down. Okay, so we are at 10 years and 10 years, move it to exactly equal to this line. For 10 years 10.9 is rate. 10.9 would be over here. Let's take it down, and in between 10.5 and 11, just below the 11%, we will get 10.9. After completion, let's proceed to 15 years. 15 years exactly at this point. For 15-year, rate of interest is 10.7. 10.7, coincidentally it is exactly at 10.7. So let's proceed to next. We'll go to 20 years. This is 20 years and we need at 10.5. Surprisingly we are exactly at 10.5. Okay, next point is 30 years and this is your 30 years. We need to put at 10.5. that would be exactly at 10.5. So guys, we have completed the second path as well. Now it's time to join these points. Before that, we are changing line color as red because we are now for 2 years. To join the first line, take first point over here, and your second point would exactly be at this stage. And now we are making our second line. Pick it over here for first connection, take it to the next. Okay, step by step we will be performing this function in the similar way, joining previous point to the next point, and in the same way you are going to connect 10-year and with 15-year. The next target is to join rates of 15 years with rates of 20 years. No, it's not going. Okay. So we have joined 15 and 20 years time period. Now we will join 20 years and 30 years rates. So guys, I'm sure you have complete idea how to produce these graphs. Red line has been completed. A small adjustment just needed. So this way it has been completed. What is this red about? This was 2 years ago. So you will write it 2, should write over here, 2 years ago. Okay, let's make it red for 2 years. So our two graphs has been completed. Now it's time to draw graph for today in relation with time to maturity. For today, let's choose, I forgot to copy. Okay, luckily we have got the copy, and now we need to change another color. Let's make it orange this time. It should be colorful. So first point would be at first year, and this place is for first year, and we have 9.3%, and it is at 9.3% in between 9 and 9.5. First point have been mentioned. Now let's go for second. We need to go at 3 years, and this is 3 years. At 3 years you need to go at 9.8. 9.8 would be in between 9.5 and 10, below to 10 but above than 9.5, that means it's 9.8. Okay, so next point would be at 5 years. 5 year is saying to take 10.9. 10.9 would be in between 10.5 and 11. Okay, we have got. The next point would be at 10 years. For 10 years we have rate 12.6. For 12.6 you will have to go up, and 12.6 would be above than 12.5. So this is 12.6. Next point is for 15 years. Let's go. For 15 years you have rate as 12.7. 12.7 would be above than previous point, little above. So here we have got 12.7, and now for next point, where to go? Next part is for 20 years. Take this point to 20 years. Okay. For 20 year our rate is 12.9. 12.9 would have the similar space little below to 0.13. After 20 years we will go to 30 years plan. 30 years ago we had the rate 30 years ago 13.5. 13.5, for that we will go up, and exactly at this place we have got our last point. After its completion, let's start joining these points, and we need to copy one line. Okay, we have copied, and it's time to change its color to orange. Let's see if we can find. Okay, some sort of orange we have got, but not exactly that orange. Let's see, this was the color we have chosen. No, it's not still matched. Doesn't matter if some time you are taking, but it is important. Okay, now we are going to start joining these points. This is your first point, and it would be joined with second point for 3 years, and now for 3 years to 5 years. Second line completed. Let's join from 5th year. This is point where you have your 5th year, and next point is for 10 years. After it we will join rates of 10 years and 15 years. Next step is to go for 15 years and 20 years. Our last point is for starting from 20 years to 30 years. In this way our graph has been completed. You can see that we made 3 different lines. Red is presenting for 2 years, blue is presenting for 5 years, and finally we have orange for today. We were asked to present it for all time periods at the same axis. That is why you can see that all 3 graphs are present in at the same axis. So let's see what next requirement is for us. A part has been completed. On the same set of axes, draw the yield curve for each 3 given times. So what we have done, all 3 given times are presented on the same graph. A part has been completed. Label each part A with its general shape. Now you can see orange is showing upward sloping. It is going upward, though after 10 years the rate of increasing return has been slowed, or the rate in between first and 10 year was more than the rate of increase from 10 years to 30 years. Little bit slope was disturbed, but in general you can say from first year to 30 years rate is continuously been increased. So we have positive sloped orange, is positively sloped, and you can write it as positively sloped or upward trend. Now you will see what trend we are having for 2 years. Look, first point was at 14.5 and rates are being dropped, continuously dropping till 10th year, and after 10 years still it is dropping, but rate of decrement is less than the rate of decrement from first year to 10 year. Though in all years from first to 30 year continuously rate of interest is decreasing, but till 10 year rate of decrement was more, and from 10 to 30 year rate of decrement was less in comparison. But in general it is continuously decreasing. So what conclusion you will make? We have negatively sloped. Let's write down over here. 2 years ago was having negative slope or downward trend. Negatively sloped or downward trend. What does that mean? It means as you are increasing your time period, your rate of interest is being dropped. Understood? And for orange, what we have decided, positively sloped. It means as your time period is increasing, your rate has been increased. Okay, for last 5 years, it is almost a flat sort of track, because neither it's not increasing with a higher rate or nor it is decreasing with the higher rate. So it's a flat sort of curve. That means not a big change in rates of return as you are increasing your number of years. That is why it is flatter sort of curve, means you are increasing your number of years. There is no impact upon rate of returns. So over here, let's conclude about it. It is flatter type of curve, and what it is showing, over here you can copy it, showing no change, no clear change is coming after passage of time. So here is our conclusion, showing no clear change in is coming after passage of time. Now once again, your red line is showing a downward trend. What conclusion you will make? With the passage of time, your rate of interest would be dropped. Okay, so for orange, that was for today. If you are increasing your number of year, your rate would also be increased. A positive relation, that is why we have written positively sloped, showing that due to increase in number of year, your rate would also be increased. And for red line, what you are concluding, continuously dropping the rate, it means due to increase in number of year, rate would be dropped. For blue, due to increase in number of year, rate would neither be increased nor it would be decreased, a sort of flatter type of curve we have. So guys, we have completed our requirement B, where we were asked to make the shape of curve look downward sloping, upward sloping or flat. We have clearly mentioned that 2 year ago was having negatively sloped or downward slope. Today was having positively sloped or upward. 5 year ago was having flatter type, nor up nor down. This was mentioned over here, and we have already mentioned it. C, describe the general interest expectation existing at each time, and we have noted it down as well over here. For today, let's conclude that due to increase in years, interest also increases. Since we were not having a space over here, it wouldn't be visible. When I will go to the right side, graph would be disappeared. So that is why, in short, we are saying due to increase in number of year, interest also increases. For red, what you will decide for 2 years, and here you will decide as due to increase in years, interest would decrease. Interest would be decreased. This is second conclusion we are making. Interest would be decreased. So finally we are at the stage to conclude about 5 years, and what conclusion you will make, you can put over here. And your conclusion for blue is what? Due to let's change it again. For 5 years you are saying due to increase in years, no change in rates, or we can say no clear change. I was trying to make it no clear change in rates. So these are the conclusions which we have made and asked in the question. General expectations. Examine the data 5 years ago according to your expectation theory. What approximate rate of return did investor expect a 5-year bond to pay as of today? So again you have to follow the theory. All rates of interest are given over here, and in 5-year bond we will see the trend. Again, blue was the 5-year. So all rates in blue line are in between 9.1 to 9.4. Expectation would be same. No matter how many years you are describing, 2 years, today, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, you will get the same rate in between 9% and 9.4%. This was your D requirement. It was saying examine the data 5 years ago according to expectation theory. What approximate rate return did investor expect a 5-year bond to pay as of today? So we have already described it. 5 years ago it was the rates, with the passage of time, rates were not being changed, they were moving. Rates were moving in between 9 to 9.4. So general expectations for D point would remain same due to flatter type of curve. Why not we should write it for D point as we have flatter curve. So even after passage of time, we would have same rate. expectations. As you can see that first year was having same line, 15 years same line, 25 years same line, 30 years same line. So it is moving in between the same row from 9 to 9.5. It's not crossing this limit. It means whatever the number of year we would have same rate expectations. So finally, all four parts we have completed. In A part, we were asked to make the graph. Graph is in front of you. It has been completed. In B part, we were asked to label. We have labeled it. It is upward. Red is downward. Blue is flatter. In C part, general interest expectation exists in each. We have already discussed interest would be decreased in case of 2 years ago if you will increase your time period. Rate of interest would be increased in case of today if you will increase your time period. Blue will remain same even after increase in number of years. This was your C point. D point was saying examine data for 5 years. As in 5-year data we have flatter type of curve, so there would not be any clear change in rates. Review has also been completed. 6.7 completed. Its review has also been completed. Solution is in front of you, but I am openly offering you, if you want to understand anything which was misunderstood during the lecture, if you have missed it, you are very open to ask your question, your queries through messages, text, or you can directly contact for your questions. I am assuring you that I will try to give the answer instantly. For the time being, 6.7 is ended and we will be meeting soon again for the solution of any other question in future, inshallah. Up till then, please take care of yourself and I'm requesting you to please pray for me as well. Thank you very much for your time, and a humble request to please perform this question or solve this question by yourself as well. Listening is not enough. Though you might have understood the concept behind this solution, but still I'm requesting to repeat it at least for 1 to 2 times. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.